Tom Bright is a rising star in the music industry, captivating audiences with his soulful performances. He's performed at prestigious venues like the London Palladium and the Shepherd's Bush Empire, and his singles have garnered attention from radio personalities and music critics alike. His recent appearance at Glastonbury Festival showcases his growing success. His new singles, Remarkable Things and Matchsticks, are out now. In addition, Tom has an exciting UK tour scheduled for November, bringing his heartfelt music to even more fans across the country. And Tom is with us here just now. How are you today?
Well, talk about an introduction.
Yeah.
I'm over the moon. How you doing?
I'm great, thanks. Now, you just got back from Glastonbury, which was the other weekend. What was it like?
It's otherworldly. It's just such a fantastic place. The minute you enter that site, there's countless radiant, glowing faces, all under the spell of this mysterious Somerset land, and yeah, it's just it's incredible.
It's so huge, isn't it? I've never been, but people say it's like it's its own city, but in a field.
Genuinely, it's enormous, and it is a city. You know, there are bars that are literally built, and I mean, yeah, I don't have the words. It's just unbelievable, and to perform, and you know, it was my third in a row there, but this was definitely the pinnacle so far, because it was considerable how well, I had a massive crowd. It was mind blowing.
And you say it's your third in a row there, so is this going to maybe become an annual tradition?
I really hope so.
Yes.
I really hope so, because I'm already thinking about next year. So yeah, it's just a special place, really, and it's such a. It goes without saying that the prestige to perform, and everybody is just so open and receptive, and you walk away from there with so many new, totally music-obsessed fans, you know.
Now, Glastonbury isn't the only performance you're doing this year, of course, because you're heading out on a 9-date UK tour in November of this year. How excited are you to be hitting the road?
I'm delighted. I really am, and it's this year's been pretty much stacked with gigs, but I've been the opening guy on every occasion, really. So I've not been. Yeah, this will be my first headline run for a couple of years. So I'm bursting at the seams. I can't wait to get this new record out and get back out and see familiar faces and get to meet lots and lots of new faces as well. So yeah, it's the best thing.
And you say it's your first sort of headline run for a couple years. Has COVID maybe affected your shows and stuff? Because a couple years ago there were maybe a few people doing gigs, but it wasn't the same as it is now and was before 2020.
Well, we've just gone into pure eruption mode. I mean, everything just came back with way more of a bang, and it just feels like the live music world is more kind of buoyant and appreciated than ever now, you know. But the last headline run I did was November 21, and it was to celebrate my second album, which came out back then, and actually it was great, and that was very fresh because we were only just out of the lockdown situations and stuff, so that was all very kind of uncharted ground. But yeah, now we're just expecting the masses to descend upon us. So can't wait.
And what kind of things can we expect from the shows in this November tour?
You can expect some top quality jokes.
Yes.
It'll be a very personal, stripped back, intimate show. There'll be it'll be interactive, a lot of chat. I like to make it a very personal, cozy experience, really, because most of my tunes are they're very narrative based, very lyrical, and there's always a story, and there's always there's always a topic to open a can of worms to, really.
You mentioned that you like to make it cosy, but you have performed at iconic venues like the London Palladium and the Shepherd's Bush Empire. When you're performing such iconic venues like that, is it difficult to make a big room cosy?
It is, and at first, you really you feel in awe,
Yeah.
and going out on a big stage with a sea of people in front of you, it's quite daunting, but confidence grows, and I've been doing this for 10, 11 years now. So I have found that I kind of revel on the bigger stages now, and so at the Palladium, I even had the guts to go a cappella at the end of my set, and that was unbelievable because you could really hear a pin drop. And then at Glastonbury just now, it was beautiful. Like, people were so in. I could really see the whites of their eyes. It was it was phenomenal. Loved it.
In 2023, it's not just the shows that are keeping you busy. You've got a couple of new singles, Remarkable Things and Matchsticks. What are the inspirations behind those two songs?
Well, Remarkable Things. When I was writing this new record, I was just picking up on a very downbeat vibe in everything, in everyone's kind of. It just felt like people were a bit defeated, and it's just a reminder that strip it all back. Life is a wonderful thing. We're surrounded by miracles and remarkable things, and that's exactly what it's all about, really.
Yeah. Compared to the other song, Matchsticks, it's kind of more stripped back, isn't it?
Yeah, Matchsticks. We've kind of gone all guns blazing on the production with that, and they're both quite autobiographical. Matchsticks talks about my own experiences in hospital, and to be honest, it's linked with Remarkable Things. I was very poorly when I was a child, and it was very touch and go that I'd even live to see these days. So yeah, it's amazing, really. If you've got a beating heart and walking around, living and breathing, it's amazing what you can do.
You've certainly had a lot of life experience to write songs about, because am I right in saying you at one point were the UK's youngest pub landlord?
I was indeed, yeah, at the tender age of 18.
Wow.
I retired battered and bruised from the pub industry at the tender age of 23. So that was my university, really. It was. It was. I learned a lot about a lot in those years.
Did that help you musically, not just lyrically, but maybe, sometimes pubs put on nights where musicians are performing. Did you ever get up and perform for the punters in there?
It made it all, really, because every Sunday we used to have a duo performing, and I just loved it, and I loved the vibe that it created. And I mean, what's better than live music? It's it brings us all together. And towards the end of our tenure, I got a guitar, and I got obsessed with it. And 3 weeks later, I volunteered myself up when these boys were playing. I got up and I did a song, and obviously it was terrible because I'd been playing for 3 weeks. But I did just become absolutely one-track minded about what I wanted to do, and before I knew it, we had a great boozer, but we put the place up for sale, and I was on my way out to Australia on a one-way ticket, and I bought a guitar for $50, and that was it. The 23-year-old me was very different to the 18-year-old me. I just went around busking. I got a job in a restaurant, and then multiple jobs in multiple cafes all over the show, and I just everything worked around me writing songs and performing. So I was writing my first songs at the same time as playing my first songs, really. So I just took to it like a duck to water. It was like the guitar was meant to find me, in a way, without sounding like a cliche.
Yeah. Did you have any influences in those early days?
Yes. So, but when I was back in the pub landlord days, after a few too many sherries, I would I used to do a free jukebox for people, so people could put on whatever they wanted. And most of the stuff in that jukebox was all my old favourite crooners. So we had Sam Cooke, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Bobby Darin, all the old kind of the proper showman, you know. And even though the music that I create is, you know, way more in the kind of English folk storytelling bracket, I like to bring an element of that kind of showmanship in, you know, because yeah, I just love Bobby Darin and stuff like that, you know, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I would say that they're big influences.
Do you think it's quite important to keep that music alive? Because I suppose you rarely hear music like that on the radio most of the time, and I suppose it's maybe generally older generations that listen to it, but it's still very much there in modern music. You can trace everything back to that time.
It's vital that we remember all these, because it all stems from those. It's like, to anyone setting out on writing a song, well, all you've got to do is learn the Beatles back catalogue, really,
Yeah.
because they created the whole thing. So yeah, nothing's new.
Yeah.
We're just regenerating it all.
And your music has actually found its way onto Spotify's most beautiful songs in the world. How do you approach songwriting to create such emotionally resonant music?
With that particular song that's on that playlist, that's just a song from the heart about my friend who passed away. He was 19 and he died in a car accident, and that kind of, I wrote that one in about 15 minutes, really. It was just it was more of a poem that I put to three chords, and I guess that's the secret. In, not that I possess the secret, but I think if you're being your most honest when you're writing, that's what people really it's what they really want, because we all want honesty. So if someone bears themselves and is their truest to you, and says something from the heart, then you're gonna receive that, because you know, we don't know what is going on in the listener's mind as well, and it'll strike a chord with someone, and you know how many people have had tragic things like that happen to them, and it'll just speak to them at a moment. And yeah, I think that's the main thing when it comes to writing a tune, you know.
And you said that one only took you 15 minutes to write. When a song comes from the heart, is it sometimes easier
yourself, really.
Yeah,
they write themselves at that point. I mean, yeah, you know, you just kind of do a bit of soul mining, and you just dig into the depths and pluck them out when they're like that. So yeah, it's just a sad situation, and the writing kind of fell naturally with that one.
Well, looking ahead, do you have any particular goals and aspirations for once this tour is done, so at the end of the year and beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'm just looking at getting this record out and really just enjoying this November tour. Obviously, next year, I'm not going to be taking my foot off the gas. I've got my writing head on, slowly planting seeds for a follow-up record. It might be a case of me recording that next year, and just being out on the road as much as possible, really. I think that it'd be really cool to, because I've had various people messaging me saying, why are you not coming to here, there and everywhere? So
Yeah.
getting back out on the road maybe in the spring, and again a summer full of festivals, and yeah, I think getting another record together next year would be something to aim at, and so we can go around again in 2025.
I suppose you're always going to get people saying, why aren't you playing here? Like, even if you played virtually every town in the country, you'd still get people, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it's flattering, because as well, I want to visit everywhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get back out as many times as I physically can, and yeah, as long as I'm out there and I'm connecting with people and sharing my songs, well, I'm a happy man, and and that's it. It's a wonderful thing to do. I'm
Yes.
very I count myself very lucky.
Well, just looking at some of the places that you are playing, the tour starts on Tuesday the 7th of November in Edinburgh at the Voodoo Rooms. Then it's on to Newcastle, Stockport, Halifax, Cambridge, London, Brighton, Margate, and then a bit of a break, but back to Penrith on Sunday the 13th of December. So you cover a lot of the country, and people can certainly easily get to at least one of them, hopefully.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I'd like to think that they're all within a radius of most places, but I'm aware that I'm not down in the southwest.
Ah.
I'm missing Glasgow, to be honest, and further afield. I love being in Glasgow. We did Celtic Connections this year, and it was awesome. Loved it. So yeah, there's a lot of places to add again, but for now, hopefully as many people can flock to these towns as possible.
And is there any one of the places that you are playing that you're particularly excited about?
All of them. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the whole thing because London will be special as it's St Pancras Old Church. I'm sure that's going to be a really beautiful setting, but all of the venues on this run are great. Like Square Chapel Arts Centre in Halifax is a really beautiful auditorium, and I love, being in Edinburgh to start. It's going to be amazing, and I always love being in the northeast, and so all of it. I just can't wait for the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, of course, the tour starts on Tuesday, the 7th of November. And where are we able to get tickets for the shows and also listen to your music?
Well, all of the tickets are easily findable. You'd probably best just go into tombright.co.uk and on the live section there, all the ticket links are there. I'm easy to find on all the social media stuff. It's Tom Bright Music, one word. And again, all the links are just tombright.co.uk. So yeah, just get tuning in, and maybe I'll meet some new people on the road.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great to have you here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to chat, and thanks for having me on.